I did a video called Analyzing Chris Watts where I talked about introversion and extroversion. And I had a few people comment on that video and they said Chris Watts was not an introvert, he was a covert narcissist. And I had seen that several times. And I didn't understand it. I thought, introversion is a personality type. It's not like a mental disorder or anything. Like, why would they even compare the two? A couple of the people who commented saying Chris Watts was not an introvert, he was a narcissist. Some of them were not so nice. They would say things like, you don't know what you're talking about, just kind of mean and disrespectful. I had heard other people say that Chris was an introvert. His family members, people that knew him, described him as introverted. Nikki Kessinger even calls him an introvert in her interview. So I didn't really think that it would be a big deal that I was pointing out that he had an introverted personality. But apparently, a few people disagreed with me and said that he was not an introvert. He was a covert narcissist and a psychopath and a sociopath. But there was one person who commented. I tried to go back and look and find his comment, and I couldn't find it. And I don't remember word for word what he said. But he basically pointed out some of the traits of a covert narcissist. And he said that a true covert narcissist could never be an introvert. He believed that Chris Watts wore a mask and pretended to be more of an introverted person, but it was really just to cover up his narcissism. And he said that a covert narcissist would never have the personality traits of an introvert. And I read that comment and thought it made a lot of sense. I don't know why this didn't click for me before, but it was something about the way that the comment was worded. The person was nice and respectful. And it made me understand why people were commenting, disagreeing, and saying that Chris was not an introvert, he was a covert narcissist. Because a lot of the traits of a covert narcissist do not match up with an introverted person. And I don't believe that he could be both. If he's a narcissist, he wouldn't have an introverted personality. And actually, if he's a true introvert, he couldn't be a covert narcissist. One of the things that I learned from that is that you will reach a lot more people that you disagree with if you share your opinion in a nice, respectful way. Because some people, like I said, they were kind of rude about it. But this one person who chose to not be rude, but just to state his opinion, they disagreed with me. But he was able to state his opinion in a way that I understood, and it ended up completely changing my whole thought process. So I just wanted to take a minute to point out that I understand that now. Um, I still don't go into a lot about whether Chris really is a covert narcissist or any kind of mental illnesses because I'm not a psychologist. I did study psychology. I still have my psychology books and stuff from college, but I still don't know any more about it than anyone else. But I can tell you that psychologists can't diagnose someone that they never actually sat down with in person. They can't diagnose people from watching videos online. A psychologist actually needs to sit down with someone, and they need to have several, not just one, they need to have several sessions with someone. Most people have problems opening up with others, and they don't always reveal who they really are. But a psychologist has ways around that. They do certain tests, they ask questions on how you perceive certain things. Um, they can figure out what parts of your brain you're using. There's a lot of things that a psychologist can figure out about a person, but they have to see them in person and talk to them and run those tests and things. And still, one psychologist may feel different than another psychologist. You may get a diagnosis from one psychologist and then go see another psychologist and they give you a completely different diagnosis. People can give their opinion about it. I don't see any harm in that. I find it interesting to hear what other people think, whether he's a narcissist or not. Um, there was a lady on AD's channel. I think she was a coroner or a doctor. Um, she had a really good argument as to why she thought Chris was a covert narcissist. It was really interesting. I was glued listening to everything she was saying. And I also heard this other lady, I think she's a something to do with addiction, like an addiction specialist. And she said that she didn't believe that Chris was a covert narcissist. She said that I think the main reason that she believed that he wasn't was because she said that people are able to hide it from people they don't know very well, but they're not able to hide it from family members and people that they live with. She said that people that know them well are able to see the covert narcissism, and there's signs of it and stuff, that it's not hidden, it's never hidden completely. It was basically what she was saying, and that's why she didn't believe that he was a covert narcissist. So she had a really good argument too. So like I said, I've heard it argued excuse me, I've heard it argued both ways, to where it makes sense. He may be a covert narcissist or he may not. I just don't like to sit here and call him a narcissist or a psychopath or anything like that, even though I feel like to do what he did, you would have to have something not right with you mentally to do that. And I'm not a psychologist, and I don't know that he's seen a psychologist. I don't think he's ever been diagnosed by a psychologist. So I just tend to steer clear of calling him names like that. But I do find it interesting when other people do. I like to hear other people's opinions about it. I love to listen to opposing views and people who have a different opinion than I do. I think you learn so much from it. It's a challenge. And honestly, a lot of the times I enjoy listening to people who I don't agree with, sometimes more than people that I do agree with. So before I just start rambling on, I'll just say that I don't really know what I believe, whether Chris Watts is a narcissist or not. I question now whether he is even an introvert. I don't know. Maybe he really did use introversion as a cover up to hide the narcissism. So that's basically all I wanted to point out in this video. My bunny, if you guys can hear, my bunny is scurrying around, which is why I usually put background music in my videos because there's always something going on in my house. Anyway, thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.